All right, everybody. Good night to you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is for you. Hope everything's going well for you. So we start my show. As you can tell, I'm by myself. That's because my co-host decided to dip out on me. Uh, didn't tell me first, but we'll get to that later. Um, so yeah, while we get everyone settled in, say hello to the people that were already here, and by people I mean specifically William, Amy. Uh, I'm gonna get to that in just a second. Uh, I told everyone that I had an announcement to make, and this is going to be it, right? So, me, a few people from the rest of AFN, uh, from Forever I Love Atlanta Sports Podcast, and some from I think it's like the Georgia Sports Hospitality Media or something like that. Members of us are going to come together and make one big, uh, like draft board article to put up on all of our websites. So be on the lookout for that. We have certain people doing more than one position. You have other slots that aren't exactly filled up yet, but we have until around March. That's when we're going to try to get everything finalized, before the draft. I mean, I'm really hoping for March. If it doesn't get to that, then I'm pretty sure you guys can understand why, because it's a really tough task because of how detailed we're all going to try to be to one up each other, as far as like the information we can give out and to teach everyone, so that uh, everyone can have a better understanding of what to look for in the draft, not just for round one, but for moving down the line, right? So that is the announcement for you guys. Uh, I am doing the running back position, so you can feel free to judge me about whatever is that case. Everyone else, they wanted to do kind of whatever they prefer doing, and I'm going to let them stay that and have their glory there. So, anyways, now back to y'all in the chat. All right, so William says, "Welcome, welcome. We need to adjust the secondary and defensive line. We're definitely going to talk about that if we want to compete this year. I'm tired of losing seasons and get Matt Ryan some help on running backs and wide receiver and fullbacks." Exactly. All right, Shane Elliott. Good night to you. Good morning, whatever it is for you. What up to you as well? We're still here. Need more help on defense. Bad special secondary. Exactly. I actually have some interesting stats I'm going to lay out to you guys as well tonight, and try to figure out, okay, where do our priorities lie as far as what to fix first? Because we can't fix every problem on our team, unfortunately. It ain't really that easy. So the real Terrence R, how's it going? He says the pass rusher should be our main concern, right? And there's a plethora of pass rushers to choose from in this draft class. Uh, it's just which one is the best fit, right? Like I really want to get that down, and so I'm really looking forward to whoever's got the responsibility of assigning us one. Malik Holmes, how's it going? He says, I wonder how much an improved secondary can help our pass rush. I actually had a conversation with Mike before we started, Mr. Man Mike himself. Uh, he was talking about how great of a season that Duron Harmon was having. And I was like, whoa, pump the brakes there. And on top of that, he was kind of like hesitant about drafting someone like a Derek Stingley or a Kyle Hamilton, because those guys are like really great players, but they have their own like niches about them. Derek Stingley with injury, and Kyle Hamilton, it's like he's like a bigger version of Isaiah Oliver, but to Mike, that's not like a great thing as far as the value is concerned. And then he explained it to me later as about why. So I do understand his statement about, we got such a young secondary as it is because Harmon and Harris and Moreau are all free agents this year. So it's like they're technically not on the team yet, right? So now we're left with really bare bones, and everyone's like under like 25, I want to say. So adding more youth there, that's only going to have a lot more drawbacks and a bit more miscommunication. But you pair that up with a with a defensive line that can get to the quarterback with 4 people involved, that's where you get your real advantage from. So we're going to go into further detail with that as we go along. CT22, what up to you? So big shout out and thank you to everyone that's tuning in, as it is just me. But as you can tell, we've done it before. So, all right. So what I want to do right now is give you guys the roster rundown. That's kind of the reason as to why I named the show that. This list right here, if you can really squint hard enough close to your screen, I'm going to have to do the same thing for mine, so get closer. That's a bit better. So we have our total value, our APY, which I want to say is like their yearly salary, let's just say, and then our total guarantees are on the far right. So if you take a look at that list, you can kind of tell about who is where as far as how much money we're giving to them this year. Now, let's see what that does to the cap, right? So this is our starting cap space. This is what we have to work with as far as right now. All right. So let's talk about the players that we already have and what we can do with them moving forward, right? So prioritizing, like value and making sure that we have as much money as possible to fix our problems. It really got me thinking, right? So I went over to overthecap.com. This is where you can kind of play around and tinker around with the cap, making some of your own decisions. And they do, they compensate for what like the dead money would be and everything, and what that would look like for like the next couple of years down the line, which is what you're seeing right here. So really caught my interest, right? If we go to, let's see, let's get this one done. All right, so this picture right here is interesting because what you're seeing right now is what the cap would look like if we were to, well, first of all, cut Dante Fowler. He does absolutely nothing as far as like the salary cap moving. So that's a little interesting. He does provide some, like about 4.6 a dead cap though, because that's like the rest of his salary. But I'm sure if we've lived with like 28 million, we can live with like another 4 to add to our total for 15 to what Julio's giving us right now. And then we'll kind of work with that with 19, which is still not really good. Like you don't want that number to be high at all. But given our circumstances, it saves like a lot more money too, right? So if we were to trade Deion Jones after June 1st, I think that saves around like $11 million in cap. And with Calvin Ridley, if we trade him before June 1st, which is rumored to be the case, right? I think he saves up to another 11 million, right? So you have those moves right there. You can probably restructure Deion Jones's contract before you send him off. And you probably have to do the same thing with Matt Ryan's contract as well. But that's just the starting point, right? So let's continue with some of the other moves that we can make, right? So this is if you cut Tyler Davison, Mike Davis, and I'll throw another one out there, Keith Smith. Now, I know what you're thinking, why the heck would you get rid of Keith Smith, right? Well, it really depends on where certain players in this draft class lie. I know of a couple of fullbacks that would be worth taking. Now it's crazy to say because dude, that's not a need, right? But hear me out. There is a fullback in this class. Probably not going to drop the name yet, right? But basically he's another Kyle Juszczyk, but more athletic. So, by the way, like Keith Smith is 30. He's not going to be here forever. And as good as he is, he's going to save us money more than cutting him. So that's kind of interesting to look at. Now let's take a look at what was the other one. Yes, that was the pre-June. It was a pre-June Ridley. That move right there. That was post-June Debo. I had one more. Cutting Kendall Sheffield and cutting John Kaminsky does this to our numbers as well. I'm on the fence with John Kaminsky. With Kendall Sheffield, he can go. I mean, he's making like another like 1 point something million. Basically, he's more money right now than what he's worth to us in the past couple of years. Kind of the same thing for Kaminsky, which is why I'm going to let him go in this scenario, right? Now, this isn't like the full final decision, but it's just a matter of saving money where we can. You know, we're already deficient as far as talent goes on the defensive line, so cutting down Kaminsky isn't going to do us a whole lot of bad in that regard. The same goes for Kendall Sheffield. Like, he wasn't really going to start for us anyways. So regardless of what you can get for him as a result there, you can replace that talent a little bit later in the draft anyways, right? Or, you know, free agency, or you develop the guys that you already have right now. Because like I said, everyone on this team is so freaking young, especially on the secondary. So that I'm not concerned with as much. So this would be the end result if everything were to go down, right? We started with let's just say 10.6 million in cap space. These moves right now, if we were to do all of this, that would put us at $47.5 million in cap space to work with. It would also kind of have around, let's say around $20 million in dead cap, which is about 5 more than what we already have working with right now. So, by the way, Calvin Ridley, he does nothing to the dead cap. He does not add a single dollar, a single penny to that dead cap because of his rookie deal. So that I thought was really interesting. So taking advantage of that would be nice if he doesn't want to be here or whatever the case may be, right? So these numbers I thought were really interesting. So what would you guys have to say about that? Is there anything else I missed? Because like the other part of this is when you only have around 31 players under contract right now. That's the main thing to look at right now. And now I cut Keith Smith, Mike Davis, Tyler Davison, Kendall Sheffield, John Kaminsky. That's 5 guys right there. Excuse me. I traded Deion Jones. I traded Calvin Ridley away. So that's about 7. I cut Dante Fowler. So that's about 8 guys. So now you're looking from a 31 players on your team right now to, was that 22 or 23? Yikes. And then a lot of that you're going to have to figure out elsewhere with that 47 million. And that's not even talking about the players that we would want to have back, you know? So the players that we could re-sign would be guys like Foye, Isaiah Oliver, Younghoe Koo, you know, like those guys in particular. And then on top of that, you can have some viable depth pieces right there. Maybe you want to bring back, you can have a choice between either bringing back Eric Harris or Daron Harmon or Fabian Moreau. Just provide some sort of depth. Like, I'm not expecting them to start, right? But at least provide some depth there with the knowledge of the defensive scheme. So to kind of help out the younger guys that might come into the building later on. So you'll have that to provide us with. But then a lot of these other guys, like, you know, like Steven Means in the lake, they're already gone. Like, they're already off the team, which is why our numbers are looking really low. And then some of the guys that we'll have later on, like the futures deal, you know, guys from the CFL, guys that we can sign again from the practice squad, those guys, they're not going to tally up to the total right now either. So having 23 players on the roster as of right now, that's pretty scary. And then you don't have enough for re-signing guys if you want to sign people to big deals, like, you know, like Foye would deserve, like Younghoe Koo would deserve. Like, that's, and then you got to save around like $10 to $12 million for the draft class itself that you're going to add players to as well. who knows how many picks you're going to try to have there. I looked at the compensatory picks that we would get from spotrack.com. It turns out they're not giving us any compensatory picks for guys like Julio and DeMonte Casey and Keanu Neal. They're only giving us one comp pick for Alex Mack, and that's only in the 6th round. So I thought that was really concerning. But I'm probably going to be really behind on these comments, so let's take a look at what everyone's been saying. Tony Wright, how's it going here? As I looked at Foye highlights for the entire season, this man was robbed of a full role berth and also robbed of a first team or at least second team All-Pro. Exactly, There's that option as well. Like if we can't draft that fullback, that you'll have to find out later on in our article. So trying to prop that up, praise that up as much as we can, and let you guys know so that you guys can have the expectation so that other people that are already have assigned to their positions can really get to work, because this is my idea. I wanted to really do this. So Derek, somebody said facts. You agree with something, right? Not sure what that was. I'm just hoping to use free agency to address the offensive line. That might be the direction that they're going with. And I was looking at some of the available people there in both the left guard, center, and right tackle position. So we'll probably save that for another conversation later on. That way I can get more visuals for you guys to look at too. But anyways, that way we can use a draft to focus on the D-line on the stacked class, as well as a few playmakers on offense, in my opinion. I mean, in theory, that's like the really good way to go about it, I don't see Sheffield in Atlanta next season. I really don't either. I would love to sign soon-to-be free agent all-world receiver Amari Cooper, another Alabama receiver. Yikes. After Dallas releases him, but we name out be able to afford. Yeah, we're definitely not going to be able to afford Amari Cooper. I mean, you can increase the cap space around like another like $50 million. We're still not going to have wide receiver. We're not going to have that cap room for that. But the other side of that is because of how talented like every wide receiver class has been as of late. I wouldn't say that we really missed out on anyone in particular, because we can really expect like wide receiver groups when you really want to focus on them. You can find a good one every single year, like a good number one every single year. It's just there's that one team that didn't get it, and then there's a couple of teams that didn't get it, and then there's the one team that did. It's all about positioning. It's all about where you land and the value that you give to the team at that spot that you were drafted at. We're going to get to that, right? But free agency comes first, and that's still like a 2 months away exactly? Maybe a little bit less than 2 months. So soon to be free agent Ben Jones, Tennessee Titans, wants to come to Atlanta. Really now. I mean, he is from Georgia. Like he went to college at Georgia back in 2012, right? So he spoke with head coach Arthur Smith after the 2020 season and told him he would love to come to Atlanta and play for him. That might be nice, especially when you consider like the average yearly salary for him. But the problem is that if we were to get him, he ain't really the long-term solution there. I think long-term solution might be Drew Dahlman. As crazy as that sounds, he is an Arthur Smith guy. He is a Terry Fontenot guy, so it's like that is a member of their team. He's more athletic than a Matt Hennessy, PFF for what it's worth, he actually has a better run blocking grade than Hennessy. I mean, knowing what we've seen about Hennessy, like that's not a whole lot of praise to give, but the fact that he's a rookie, the fact that he had those crucial snaps in while we were facing like really good run defenses, that lets you know that they trust him in those situations too. So moving forward, I'd like to see more out of him for pass protection, as I would with everyone else on our dang offensive line. But you know, Back and been shopping once more. Again, like we don't really got much of a choice. We definitely need a new center, so Ben Jones coming to Atlanta. Hey. It just says we won't miss you. Good riddance. Uh, I saw we picked up a few potential contributors from the CFL. How big is the talent drop off in the CNFL? I don't want CFL. So with defensive players, it's different, right? So with like if you were to sign a pass rusher, they play a yard back from the actual line of scrimmage. So that could develop them when it comes to their burst off the line. You know, you take a look at guys like Cameron Wake, who came from college or from from Canada, transferred over to college or transferred over to the pros. Jeez, brain, get it together. And then had like over 100 sacks. You know, so it's like there's that. But then for a corner position like DeAndre Alford, I also was told that the wide receivers can kind of move at any time too. You know, like they can have a running start. Let's say like think like arena football if you're familiar with that instead. So having that to work with as well, like that really helps with that burst against the position. So DeAndre Alford could be really good for stuff like that. You know, when it comes to speedy receivers, I think he's quick enough in order to cover someone like that. Get out of here, mosquito. But he also likes to tackle. You know, like he's really good when it comes to that. So that'd be good when it comes to, you know, preventing the play from lasting longer than it needs to be. So the corner position, that's pretty universal, right? It's not like I don't know what would be more dependent. So but just know, right, with your 3 downs that you're given, you got to make every play count, right? So I think I see that in him. So that would be good. Shane Elliott says, I wouldn't mind getting Juju Smith-Schuster. He's only 25 years old and can get him maybe around $7 to $8 million per year. And he's a good second wide receiver. Then maybe draft the wide receiver to be your first, and they have Pitts too. Yeah, it's interesting where the wide receiver would fall if you were to try to get one in the draft. I don't know if that's value for the first round. Even if you were to trade back. Excuse me. My goodness. All right, just take a quick little break here. Yeah. All right. Derek says, if Stingley's on the board, would you take him? Stingley's an interesting prospect. Pretty polarizing as well. You know, he's got the talent, you know, like there's no question about that. But there's like the ceiling and the floor for each player that you really got to take care of when it comes to like the scouting process. He's got the ceiling of like a Champ Bailey, but he's got the floor of like a Jeff Okudah. You know, so it's like he could be a dominant player, or you have the chance of having his injuries derail him from really being any type of good player to have. So it's like there's a really big gamble there, and we are not in a position to really take a gamble at that, regardless of how good he could be, you know? So it's like there's that to keep in mind. But that being said, like if he wasn't if he was healthy, he wouldn't fall to us, you know? So it's like that wouldn't even be a question. How's it going? Prove it. Nice to see you. Nice to see everyone here. The real Terrence R. At the end of the day, I just want Terry Fontana to have a good draft this year with the great free agents. Of course, you know. Who wouldn't agree with you on that, you know? Well, there's that aspect of Juju Smith-Schuster as well. So, Pat Norris, how's it going? What would salary cap be if we kept Deion Jones and got rid of the players you mentioned before? So keeping Debo, you know, it just normalizes the rest of the spaces. So it's like you would have, instead of what would it be, the like the 47.5, trading Dion away. I mean, also you got to really consider about what you would trade him away for too. Like if you trade him for another player instead of a draft pick, that's going to have differences in the cap as well, right? So it's not a full complete answer with this question, but I would probably say around 36 million instead. That's how much you might save, but it could be less than that given what we would trade for and the value that would be at the position. So it's like if we were to trade him for a first round talent, which I think he still could be worth that, which would be great, having him like along with Calvin Ridley, both potential first round trade bait. And then what you could get from those draft picks as well, like how much would they earn? Like Devontae Smith, for example, if we were to try to take another wide receiver in order to place Calvin Ridley high up in the draft, I think his contract, like what he would earn right now, would be like 1.6 million on the rookie deal. So you take that when you can instead of having to spend $11 million on a player that doesn't want to be here. So there's that aspect, And then with Deebo, if you were to keep him, you have his experience as well. So it's like you were kind of set at that position if you were to keep Foye too, So there's that big aspect as well. All right, so Tony Wright agrees with me that Dahlman is the long-term answer, but he can learn under Ben Jones for a year or two. Perfectly fine with that. Plus, Jones is very familiar with Arthur Smith's system. He's also a better pass blocker too. I have seen that. It's not just the run blocking, and it's not just like knowing the playbook. It's like the only thing that would concern me is that he's not the most athletic linebacker. Or, geez, where am I going with my head? He's not the most athletic center. Matt Hennessy is more athletic center. Depending on what scheme that you want him to try to be, we're not a man scheme. We're a zone scheme, right? So whatever the assignment that you would have the center doing, if that's getting upfield to the linebacker, I would take Hennessy or Dahlman over Ben Jones for that assignment, right? And they would do that too, which is why they weren't afraid to swapping centers when it came to certain opponents. But pass blocking, I have no problem with him being our pass blocker center, So there's just there is that aspect to keep in mind as well. Malik Holmes, draft picks and young talent is nice, but quality vets are often underappreciated. Anthony Rush and Mike Pinnell. Heck, I mean, Sean Williams. These are guys that came in, as the season was like either halfway done or with Sean Williams' case, like a couple of games away from being over. And yet we still saw some really good results out of them. Now, this is why I'm not completely sold on Jordan Davis, especially not at 8. So it's like you can take the edge there. Now, with this statement being said out there, right? I'm not the only one that thinks this, by the way. But there are people that can play the same role in this draft class as Jordan Davis. Maybe not be as impactful or as huge, but they got similar size, statures, and can do pretty similar things when it comes to what we would ask of them to do on our defense, right? So that is on the way. Like having I want to have a section where it's like of our article where it's like, hey, if you can't get this player, try to get this player too, because they can get you the same result or at least a similar result. So it's not that much of a drop off. I know everyone's infatuated with the size and the girth that is Jordan Davis, right? But there's other components you need to take care of as well. And having an extra, go around with Pinnell and Rush together, that offers some great depth as well. They'll have more time in the playbook. They're also fairly cheap veterans, like you mentioned. and good rotational pieces. I want to say that Anthony Rush is actually bigger than Jordan Davis, so there's that aspect. He's not athletic, of course. I'm not saying that. It's just if you want size, we have size technically. It's just we got to resign him. He are probably referring to we need a stud wide receiver at 1 to be good, but I think we can be a good, or probably Juju is what you're referring to. Can you add Zacchaeus to the Blake on that Cutler? They're already free agents. So, like I said, like some of those guys that you already won off, they're already gone. Unfortunately, Patterson is also on that list too. I forgot to mention him. So it's like you want like 4 or 5 guys brought back, but they're going to ask for more money because of how good they are at those positions. Tony White says we should bring back Fabian Moreau, but not safeties Duron Harmon or Eric Harris. Let them both walk. We should immediately go with the young kids, Elon Hawkins and Richie Grant. I'm okay with that as well. It's like for the stat that was thrown out there when it came to like we're not allowing any yards, we're not allowing any plays over 40 yards. That is impressive, right? But how much does it really matter when you bring up other stats too? And I'll bring those up later. It's just some of those other stats are just jaw-dropping, despite really good play from guys like Foye, guys like Grady, guys like AJ Terrell and the likes. So we really want to have them benefit from the other pieces that we can build around the nucleus that we have. Fabian, I can see that one being, but he's not going to be the long-term answer either. I'd rather have him for depth purposes and still try to get that starting corner. Whether that be from the draft or whether that be from another free agents coming in, and I was taking a look at that as well. I have 2 guys in mind. I want to get some of the guys from like the better defenses, which, it ain't really that tough of a task, but the greater defenses, like really, really good defenses. I'm talking like the Bills, they have a corner as a free agent too. Starting corner, mind you, Levi Wallace. So if you take a look at him and what he's done, I really like his production. I think he can fit right into the other side and provide some great play too, because they've allowed the fewest passing yards in the league. I want a cut of that pie, if you will. But yeah, you're absolutely right. We have to hit every pick, especially if we want to get competitive as soon as possible. This would be the way to go about it. Any draft bust is not allowed. But at the same time, it's like, could you have really said that about this past draft class? Like, granted, Mayfield did not perform his best. Dahlman wasn't a starter. Darby definitely wasn't a starter. Grant came a long way. Ogundeji and Graham, they were rotational pieces. They still had production. It still had value to them. Avery Williams, he also contributed. Darren Hall as well. But they got Kyle Pitts. And that was like one of those things where it's like, hey, if you got that guy, you won the draft. I don't care what else happens, It's similar to like the quarterback position, It's just like you can draft like a bunch of busts, but if you got the quarterback right, hey, get the top guy right first, and then see what the rest of the team can look like sorting out. And even if we were to miss out on a certain players, it's just a matter of what the positions that we missed out on are, and then go from there as far as, upgrading them later on in the off season, which we've been able to do that even this year too. So we're not afraid of picking up people at any given time in the season. So, and then draft Kyle Hamilton. He is a beast. He is a beast, but I Mike would unfortunately not agree with you on that. Well, if it isn't the head coach of the Browns, says What's up to the chat? Interesting to see you here, but hey, great to have you. Sean Wiley says, look, I'm going to say this for the last time. We're going defense this year, and it's already been confirmed by DMPs. Stop talking about offense. And then the very next comment says, hey, my mock draft has Drake London, top offensive player. And then Daniel Faye, that guy's a man. Nobody told me that guy was 6'9" and 400 pounds, man. And can move. There's a possibility that round 2 is high for him somehow. Hey, even better, right? But Josh Paschal, Martin Emerson, Darian Beavers, and then Brian Robinson. So like I said earlier, I was in charge of scouting the running backs for our article coming out. And I have about 20 or so running backs on my list I've taken a look at already. Brian Robinson has been one of them, right? I looked at his tape from the first game against Georgia. And fifth rounder is a good pick for him there, in my opinion. You're not too high on him. You're not too low on him. I think the problem that gets me with him is that he's not a guy that I would see Arthur Smith really wanting. He is a high floor guy. He does the running part well, but as far as everything else you really want to consider when it comes to what we would want in a Falcons running back, I want them to be able to protect the quarterback when it comes to passing sets. So whether that be chip blocks or, picking up the blitzes from the linebackers and safeties and whatnot, like that is a crucial part for me, as well as, any receiving talent that you can get from out of the backfield as well. So it's like those two things I'm really looking for. He's okay at those, so it's like he's not really good at those ones. Ain't really the versatile type that I would like him to be. And on top of that, he sometimes has. Now, I'm not doing a full evaluation of him right now. So it's like this is just a very small sample size of him. But from what I've seen so far, fifth round's okay. It's just I don't know his role. Like I see more of a role for Quadri Hollison on our roster right now than I do for Ryan Robinson. So just keep that in my opinion, but. We get a second for Ridley and a third for Deion Jones. That gives us a first, 3 seconds, 2/3, a fourth and fifth, and a sixth, and a partridge and a pear tree. Shane Elliott says, or just draft Williamson or Pickens at wide receiver, then they would be on the rookie contracts. I think Williamson's injury is not as bad as I believe it was, a small tear. Okay. Yeah, so. Well, kind of already answered that. So, TK22, if you're calling the shots, what would you do? Trading back might be the highest priority with all the talent in the top 100. I heard some really good things. So, like from the 50 spot to the 100 spot, some really good depth there. Not as top heavy as a couple of these drafts have been. But that means that if you have a lot of picks now, especially in this mid range, which we could really easily get, these would be your doubles and triples, if you will, instead of trying to get that home run. But yeah, depending on how desperate teams are for the quarterback, we could potentially have a very, very valuable pick. Now, I don't know if we are going to have as much value as, let's say like the Jets that might want to trade their top 10 pick. I don't even know which one. The Eagles, who have a lot of control over this draft. The Texans at the third spot. People could be really desperate for a quarterback, and that can bring some other teams out there. So I don't know if any quarterback is going to be worth that high of a draft pick for this year. And I've seen some other people really agree. But hey, you never know how desperate teams can be, and it's hard to find an auction when everyone that's doing the bidding is in a different room. Yeah, we only have 2 receivers on the roster. Yeah. That's not good. Well, blocking. I don't really know who blocked you. Are you unblocked now? Let's see. JJ says, let's not judge Richard Grant until we see him at his natural safety position instead of that nickel spot. I agree, because it was kind of unfair throwing him into the fire like that. Shannon asked me, would you trade up the first or second pick in the draft by trading our 8th pick and Ridley and maybe our 3rd pick for a top end, or Evans, the left tackle from Bama? So moving up to get Evans. My question with that is, can he play right tackle? Like, that's my only concern. I know that his natural position would be left tackle. I don't really see him as a need for that right now. I think Jake Matthews is still fine, even still moving forward. But that right tackle position is definitely up for grabs. So whoever wants to snag that one up, whether that be McGarry just hauling butt and then really keeping his job like that, or it could be Jalen Mayfield moving back to that natural position that he was in, getting that left guard back, whether that be Matt Gono, there's a possibility of him returning, or another left guard coming back. You want to try to consider some of the people that are in similar schemes. So 49ers left guard, Laken Tomlinson, pretty much played all of his snaps. Is in the same similar zone running scheme. So he'll know a lot of the system, given the fact that the verbiage and stuff is going to be different, of course, but the philosophy of what Arthur Smith and Kyle Shanahan has done in the past, very similar, so it's like getting those guys like that. But then on top of that, how much are you going to be willing to spend on a premium pick right there too? So it's like, would you want to take the brunt of that contract right now, or would you want to try to take the development process of getting that left guard figured out for the future? A lot to consider. Depends on what you want to do with this team moving forward. Like, are you trying to win now? Then, hey, go for the gamble and get that left guard that you want. I don't know if that's going to be him or if it's going to be like someone like Andrew Norwell from Jacksonville, whatever the case may be, right? So you'll want that guy to solve your answer week 1 and not have that problem anymore. So you don't worry about that, and then you move on from other positions. And then having that position figured out will help out the left tackle and the center. Right guard, obviously, no problem with that. And then you'll figure out your tackle with your next spot, which, hey, having 4/5 of your offensive line figured out already, that's a lot better than maybe having 2 guys that you already trust. So maybe not Evans would be the pick for me, but maybe an actual right tackle, and we may not even have to trade back for that, or trade up for that, for that matter. I've heard that not Will First yet, but Cross, I think he's a right tackle. There's got to be some tackle named Cross in this draft, right? We need to draft a pure left guard in the 3rd round, not a center or right guard, then move him into left thing. Exactly. Aaron Bedell, how's it going? Only free agency signing we should do is a center. Everything else should be drafted. Yeah, it is interesting, because if you had the choice between, hey, you pick one, you sign one free agent, it's either going to be left guard, center, or right tackle. I think we have possible plans for left guard, possible plans for right tackle already, and it's just that signing, which kind of seems obvious to us right now. And given the information given to us about Ben Jones saying that he wants to play for Arthur Smith again, kind of lets you know something's brewing already. So maybe we don't have to worry about the offensive line as much as you think. And if that's the case, then you're really focused on your talent. That's the way to go about getting your receivers, getting the running back, getting your backup tight end, because Lee Smith and Hayden Hurst, they're gone because we declined Hayden Hurst with your option. Lee Smith already retired. You'll need someone behind Kyle Pitts eventually, so getting another Lee Smith like person, or maybe another, you're not going to get another Kyle Pitts, but maybe another Hayden Hurst like player. Is that Jaden Graham? I know he had the injury. He could be coming back for us. Is that Parker Hesse? Hesse, however you want to say his last name. He can step in anytime, be either role for us, which is nice. So, is that as well? What's my mock draft or someone I'm hoping to pick? As far as a finalized mock draft, I haven't really figured out anything yet. I'm just kind of picking names and just seeing what best player available would be. So, I was going to try to save this for later on in the show, but since we're on the topic, this is the one that I just did a couple of minutes before we actually started. So, hey, again, this is something that's hey, no emotions involved. All right, no emotion. All right, just straight up, who was the top guy there? That was an example. So at 8, it was a tie between Kenyon Green. The next player underneath him was DeMarvin Leal. So you go with Kenyon Green. He's a natural guard, so hey, good. Then the next guy was Cameron Thomas. The next day after that, hey, San Diego State too. So it's hey, it'll be quite the pick for us. It'll be a very predictable pick if we were to go this route. I just realized that. Kingsley and Igbari. Again, another guy that we're all going to have the conversation about how to actually pronounce the guy's name. So that's always seems to be the case for us. Picked up the next best available wide receiver at the time, which was Romeo Dubes from Nevada. And then Zonovan Knight. I like him. So he's not my favorite running back in this class, but I do like him, especially if we can get him at 111, So that's just a sneak peek. Of course, nothing is finalized for me. This isn't my mock draft. This is just a mock draft that I made. So keep that in mind when it comes to judging it. Let's see where we're going. People saying we should not short ourselves on Ridley if we trade him a first round or a high second and third. Exactly. Other teams are desperate for wide receivers as well. And you have teams that are trying to be competitive that right now that are willing to give it their premium spot because it does not matter as much to them. When it comes to certain playoff teams, I don't know, the Rams, they will just not care about their first round picks. So it's that will mean someone to something or, to some team. Whatever Ridley decides to be off the field, on the field, we know what he can provide for us in a given system. It's just he's not really the system for us. I think he already kind of knew that in advance. And then seeing the production of Kyle Pitts, something was on the way, I also said a top DN, not just – okay. Well, top DN, who would that be for 3? I'm assuming that getting up to the 3rd spot again for Houston would be the 3rd spot. A lot of talks about both Hutchinson and Thibodeau being taken from the first 2 picks. Not sure how much investment is going into that already right now. There's probably going to be the 1 or 2 more prospects that are going to shoot up and skyrocket in the draft later on, as as always seems to be the case. But as far as the top D end, if we're going at 3, I don't know who that is. Who's the 3rd best guy right now? Because Thibodeau and Hutchinson, a lot of people already have them decided on those being the first 2 picks in the draft. So it'll be iffy. If that's the case, are you getting the best value there for trading out? If anything, I'd probably prefer the tackle there. I'd probably prefer taking Evans and then seeing it and trying him out at right tackle. Kind of what the Lions did with Penei Sewell. Cameron Thomas and Kingsley. I love them. Hey, good to know. I bet. Hey, no emotion involved in that too, by the way. Kenyon Green is solid. He's capable of playing all around the line, which is something we could use. Did not know that when blinding selecting him. So, yeah, a lot of good, interesting conversations to still have, One thing that I wanted to take care of too, and I think I'm going to try to do this now. Well, here's the question on the screen. What would you change first? Emphasis on the you. Here's the things that we're working with right now. All right. These are 9 stats from the team defense that we have from last year. I'll take this off so you can kind of see it. So from the top left, we had the points allowed. Top right, we had yards allowed. Middle left, we had hurry percentage. Top middle, we had blitz percentage. Middle right, we had pressure percentage. Bottom left is penalties. Bottom middle is scoring percentage against our defense. And bottom right is rushing yards allowed. So, hey, we got this team defense stats. These are 9 that I've picked up already. I probably would have been able to add more, but I didn't want to clog up too much of the screen. So, what do I mean by what would you change first? Well, let's see if I am prepared like I thought I would be when it came to this decision of doing so. Can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? I think you guys might know what's on the way. All right, folks, step right up. Come on, come on. The reason as to why I'm doing this, I was kind of trying to add something like this for future streams, and now would be the time to do it, especially because I'm without a co-host. But also, I want to get more takes on these stats in particular. All right, so quick question. That'll be the case. Pick one that you want to try to fix. How would you fix it? How would you go about taking care of that? And, we can have a conversation about that as well. So, board's yours, floor's yours. I'm just going to try to be the host for a couple minutes. If anyone wants to step on, gladly welcome you and try to get your take on this. So, as we have some, while I wait. Some high quality H2O. All right. Come on, man. They're going to tucking your tail on me. First of all, I didn't even know you had one. I'm just kidding. All right. So, I mean, it's available for you. Maybe just saying it is going to be easier for you than typing it in. You're not going to expect it to be here long. And obviously, as long as I have this on here, you're not going to see either of our faces anyway. So trying to give you guys a chance and see if you guys can step up to the plate. And, hey, have a crack at this opinion. See what you guys would do. What are we thinking as far as overall decision-making on the defense? we can agree with a lot of these points, you know. So wouldn't strike me any differently to have any other type of opinions when it came to what we do, not just like for the first pick, but overall moving forward, you know. Well, if you guys decide on that later, I'm going to see if I can try to pin this information for you guys. Start that comment there. Keep that there. I don't know what that guy. I don't know what I just did would look like on your guys' end. I don't know if I just pinned a comment, but it's there for the taking. So how about I start off then while we wait, right? So if you guys want my opinion on this, the first thing that I looked at was the points allowed, right? It was 459. That was the third most. As you can see underneath it was 80J. That was for adjusted. Basically what I did there is I took a look at some of the game. I took a look at all the games, figured out the scoring that we've allowed, and seeing if they were really against the defense. You know, so that would be like the pick sixes, the kickoff return touchdowns, the blocked punts, and then any kind of like garbage time stats that people would put up against us, or if like a team ran up the score, let's say, because that happened to us one or two times. I took those out of it because that wasn't going to be fair for the defense anyways. Even if I took out all those points from those respective games, it still put us at 397, which had I not adjusted anyone else's numbers to that, that would have been around 13th in the league. And as far as like most points allowed, so that's what that would mean. Yards allowed. Now, if I could do the same thing for the adjusted yards allowed, that'd be way too much of a time consumer for that. At least right now, with the time we were given with. But what do we have here? Hello.
Hey. How's it going?
Yeah. As well as we can.
Can you hear me well? Because I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you're coming
I'm
in.
Feeling better, people.
All right.
In case you didn't know, Miss Maggie T is back. I don't know why the volume. Put his headphones in. How about that? Because this ain't working for me. Hold on, people. Hold on, people. Hold on, people. Give me a minute, people. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. What's up? Prove it. What's up, Mr. Motivator? Look, we'll get with each other after this. You know what? Scratch it. I'm gonna come on a different way. Miss Maggie want to join Mr. Noah. All right. Do you mind having some company today?
I put the link on the screen.
Well, you ain't no goddamn choice. So goddamn it, give me a minute.
It doesn't matter what you think.
It don't matter what you goddamn think. I'm the boss around here. So I'll be right back, people.
All right. What I was just about to say. For those tuning in to her transitioning to my show, howdy. Just saying, like she had a show as well. So if it kind of conflicted with the notifications, and do with that with what you will. Hey, we got ourselves someone to add to the stream.
Man, what's up, Noah?
Mr. Motivator yourself, how's it going tonight?
Man, just watching you live, man. Just watching it. That's all I'm doing. But man, you doing a little draft picks, man. What you think we gonna get, man? At number 8.
Like I said, I haven't made a final decision, but once I do, I'm gonna be stuck on it. You know, I've already kind of weeded out a couple of players that I don't want, and that is, it might be concerning to other people, you know, but yeah. I would have a plan for them. That's all I'm gonna say.
I got a feeling it's gonna be defense though. We need a defensive pick at number 8. That's what I'm thinking.
Right. I'm definitely leaning on that choice. The edge class, especially, you know, it's just a matter of who falls to us and what we would decide to do with that. Because as people have said, there are a lot of good players to get from the edge rushing class this year. So it's like you really can't miss out when you try to trade, when you try to get from the first 2 or 3 rounds. But that being said, I don't want to have to settle, and I want to try to get that guy, or at least one guy that we rely on really quickly, right away. And maybe get that other guy like the last pick in the second round or something like that. It's like I want to try to get like back-to-back edge rushers, if at all possible.
Yeah, we need help badly, man. I'm tired of seeing my defense they look small, bro. Like when I went to my first game, they needed help, bro. Like they needed help badly. Like this in person, this ain't on no game. Like I'm looking at Darren Hall. You see how short look Darren Hall did? And they did that fake punt. I'm just like, bro, I ain't. We need help.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's going on, Noah? It's, I kind of came at the tail end. I started talking and running my mouth on sultry seconds or sultry. How do you say that? Sultry or sultry? It doesn't matter.
I'd figured you would know how to say it considering it's your show.
It's my show. Exactly. How I can't say my own word, people. Can y'all tell me, was it sultry or sultry?
Let's go with sultry.
Okay. I like
kind of rolls off the tongue better.
Thank you. It's sometimes tomatoes, it's tomatoes at this point. So depending on what,
and some rando want to say tomato.
So what would you change first? Are you asking for defense overall?
Yeah, so we have these 9 stats that I picked up from Pro Football Reference. This is like the generic basis stats, and then some of the other ones are more the advanced stats you can get. So looking from top left would be like the points allowed, and I kind of adjusted it to kind of weed out some of the garbage time scores, and some of the points that weren't really the responsibility of the defense, like the block
pressure last. Oh,
wow.
Yeah.
It's
it wasn't even close. Even Jacksonville was better.
Oh my gosh. Take that logo off. What's that at the bottom? I want to see that. It says scoring percentage 75th to worst.
Yeah, 14. So it's like 45% of the time that our opponent had the ball, they scored against.
We still softer than goddamn baby tissue. Can't get no pressure. We can't do penalties. The penalties.
3rd most in the NFL, and that was only like 3 behind whoever it was, like Dallas.
Dang, man.
That's terrible.
It is.
That's terrible.
We need help, man.
The only one that was like semi-decent was more of like a coaching decision, and that was blitz percentage.
Mm-hmm.
I got a question.
We are, poo-poo.
Yeah, go ahead.
But I got a question. If we don't be able to get Jordan Davis, who you think we should get?
Jordan Davis could be someone that, if you want to have the idea of trading back that 8th pick, I don't know if he's at full value if you get him at 8. Right?
Well, see,
even to me, that's a bit of a reach.
I'm going to cut that off because I feel that, of course, wherever he lands is where he lands.
Right.
I say the difference between Terry and the meat stupid, he goes for the best player available.
Yeah.
Right.
We saw that in Kyle Pitts. Yeah, he's going with the best player available. So if Jordan Davis is home now, we're going to figure it out.
Yeah.
Or, of course, that's just one player. There's plenty of players. I'm pretty sure they are already scouting out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, because of my hesitation on Jordan Davis, I had to come up with a backup plan, right? So there are, I want to say about 2 guys at least that, hey, if you don't get Jordan Davis and you want a guy like Jordan Davis, there's about 1 or 2 guys that have a similar build, have a similar production when it came to what they provided to their defense, and we can get them for a lot cheaper too.
Yeah.
All else fails, we can try to get back Anthony Rush and Mike Pennell, let them have a full offseason in our building instead of having them come in off the street, and they can develop a lot better as well. Because they got the girth for it, if you want that. It's just the athleticism is the key there too. But you're really not getting Anthony Rush for his athleticism. Like you're not getting them for that purpose. So you're gonna get them for stuffing the run and making sure that they cause as much of a ruckus as you can on the defensive line. And I think that Jordan Davis is a great guy to get for that, but he's not the only guy. And that's the only point that I wanted to make.
Exactly. Yeah. Everybody. One thing about our fan base. Oh, somebody got cut. Falcons. Like, why are we trying to grab all these little stray cats?
Yeah.
And build a team off of it. Yeah. Or everybody talking about Jordan Davis. That's all we care about. We just want Justin Fields, everybody, because everybody else want Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Who is in the chat? Don't jumped on. You know what? The world we don't start it. Why is my screen looking like this though? Who the hell is that?
Hey, we got Prove It in the building, guys.
Prove it now. I can't even say it.
What's up, Prove
It? Ooh, what's up? I want to see some faces. Noah. Let's
is the mic on?
Well,
mic check 1 2 1 2. Maggie's feeling better, y'all. Look, y'all finna get a lot of this. Mr. Motivator caught the bipolar Kanye West Maggie T on the other show.
Can y'all hear a player?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, you sound a lot better now.
Okay, yeah. So man, one of my pet peeves, bro, for this defense, bro, is I can't stand to be ran on, man.
Straight up.
I cannot stand to be ran on, bro.
If I bring that back up, we were 6th most in run yards allowed with over 220 or 2,200. Jeez.
Yeah. I got a question, Noah. I got a question. How many picks you think we need for the defense?
Whew. You guys want to go a Panthers route like they did a couple of years ago and just go every single pick in defense?
Where are we in the draft? Where are we now? Because I've been so out the loop with this sickness. I'm still recovering from it. Pick. What I'm saying, we're number 8.
Yeah, we're number 8. Right there. We have an early second and a late second round thanks to the Titans. Mm-hmm. And then there's also some flexibility when it comes to guys that are already on the roster that we could try to ship out in order to save some money that way, like Calvin Ridley, like Deion Jones. I know that's a bit of a controversial decision right there, but he saves around $11 to $12 million if you do that.
Wow, that's a lot of money.
Okay.
You know,
one thing I do believe, man, is Foye need to be involved with all of that, man.
Oh, hell yeah, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Improving that defensive line is definitely going to help Foye.
I'm surprised you said that, though, because when I went to my first game, that's what helped the game out. Foye getting that interception, that pick six.
Oh, yeah, because you were at the Lions game, right?
Yeah,
you know what? I'm going to say this. One thing that I can take from Arthur Smith from this first year. Of course, I never judge anybody by their first year as a head coach, especially first time as a head coach. I look at a game. Yes, it was a loss, but I look for improvements, progression. What did the defense do that look a little better than last week? What did the offense? Why Matt Ryan's still on his fucking back?
Yeah, you're right.
What adjustments did you make? Look, y'all, Maggie's back, y'all. I'm back, y'all. I'm ready to talk about these Falcons. I missed a whole month.
Yeah, once y'all was talking about The Rock, I came up in this month.
I'm not scared to say it's the whole line, bro. I'm not. Y'all watching the same game I'm watching, bro. Like, I swear Matt Hennessy is the matador, bro, because he just let him go by. You know? I and I'm not trying to super clown because I know these dudes are professionals, man. But we go in on Steven Means, but Matt Hennessy, bro.
Put it this way: they know the job they signed up for.
Right. I rather see Steven Means than Matt Hennessy, bro. Like Matt Hennessy is directly in front of Matt Ryan, bro. Like if Matt can't take a step back, bro, we'll never get nothing off.
All right, so I got a question for everybody, cause I know they're not just gonna pick defense. What name everything we need on the offense and defense? Just give me everything we need that we need help on right.
I feel like for the most part, bro, this year.
One thing. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead, Miss Maggie. It's your show.
No, I mean, look, no, it ain't my show. I'm just on here in my robe today. Go ahead, finish up.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say is pretty much, man. I feel as though we could have did a better job and won a couple more games, man. If Matt could just stay on his feet longer, man. Forget that he can't. He ain't gotta be mobile, bro. But if he could set his feet, bro, Matt's top 10, period, bro. Like I don't even know why he get the flack he do. You know what I mean? That's just 100% haterism, bro. But even with what we had, bro, we still could have made it to the playoffs, bro.
We could have, yeah.
Even with the way our defense went, man, we still had the chances and opportunities to make it, bro. We just didn't. And the 100%, the main reason why, bro, is because Matt was on his back, bro. Like, and that just drives me crazy, bro.
Hey, so I got a question too. Who should we keep right now on the main roster?
Matt Ryan.
I don't know. We keeping him. I'm talking about like Russell Gage. I'm talking about them type of people. Who we should keep?
So the guys that are already like free agents, right?
Yeah,
I feel like
because we got a lot of people testing that market right now, and I feel like Terry just gave all these, because especially with this TV deal and everything else. Don't be surprised. You're gonna see some big names getting taken up out of here, so we can kind of bring in their guys. You get what I'm saying? Because Dean Pease don't have his guys. Arthur Smith. He's tight end led, and fed. You know what I'm saying? He ain't got his guy he used to have over there. But he's developing that in Kyle Pitts and Hayden Hurts and Russell Gage's. Everybody's starting to become into their own already in this season. Everybody, let's tank for Trevor. Let's tank. Like, what professional football player is going to tank?
Right.
Yeah.
Man, do y'all think we could have won with what we had, bro? Do y'all think we really could have, even with I feel as though we lost Julio and gained Kyle Pitts. I feel like we didn't lose nothing there outside of experience.
Right.
I feel like we could have won with who we had, man.
Yeah. I say this, since ain't nobody brought this up. How different would Atlanta be if Julio Jones would have stayed, Hooper would have, everybody that we used to have, envision them here right now. How different would Atlanta be?
I'll tell you one thing though, we put up a better fight against the Bills than the Patriots did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely. We were leading at halftime, guys. Like, that's considering what they did against a premium team like that.
What's up, little Ducky?
When it mattered most.
Little Ducky.
Quack, quack. I'm just playing. Whatever that is, a pelican or whatever.
I don't know. Actually, I think it's a stork. But yeah, let's go with
it. We're going to go with that then. Okay.
Cookie by Nature is here, guys. Welcome him.
Hello. Cookie.
What's up?
What it do, man?
What it do?
I feel like you got on because of this comment that you made from me.
Man, I don't know if it was addressed
earlier. Debo makes no sense, bro. It don't make no sense.
I have to tell
saves you $12 million.
I have to tell people to come up with your own narratives, bro. Don't look on Twitter and say, "Well, everybody thinks Debo sucks." I think Debo sucks too.
I think Debo
Stop doing that.
I'm looking at this from a value standpoint as far as like what we can do saving money moving forward. I'm not saying that he's terrible. I'm not trying to say that here with him.
Okay.
I still think he's a really good pick. Given what we can get for him, though, given who we have behind him and Michael Walker, which I think can step up, I really trust this group on the defensive side of the ball when it comes to the coaching staff to develop the next linebacker, as they did with these guys already. Moving this piece, saving money here, and getting a possible next pick so we can further beef up the defensive line, beef up the offensive line, add another receiver if we can. I think that the value that you can gain from that would be on par at least with what you can get from just Debo right now staying here.
Yeah.
I think the difference.
But if we trade Debo, who we gonna get? Like, is there anybody that's upcoming in the draft? Like, I feel as though Debo is a good coverage back, and like sometimes we We asking him to be Ray Lewis when that's not his game. He more like C.J. Mosley.
I think Walker is more so the for insurance. If he asking for too much, you can just have him slide in there. I don't see the point of moving Debo, especially when he was learning a new position. He's literally teaching Floyd his position, which I showed Mike earlier. That he was telling him the certain signal calls before the play happened, saying 78, has a tail. Just look at his feet, like if he's in this certain set, it's a pass, but like if other than that, it's a run. He's over here focusing on teaching Floyd the mic. I mean, he's going to struggle in the new position, and we're talking about a former Pro Bowl player, and we're talking about trading him for a damn 5th round pick. That don't make sense. Y'all talking about
I see what Clay Melton said. He said if you could get a 1st or 2nd for Debo, you should take it. We need money, and we have his replacement.
Who his replacement? Who his replacement?
We need to put some hogs in front of Debo.
Okay.
We need to put 3 big hog dog linemen in front of Debo and let Debo.
I need sausage neck men back there. Big old men.
We need to let Debo.
Do you want your cornbread? We need them people in the back.
So that's what it is. I was more so responding kind of to somebody who wrote for the Facaholic saying you can get a 5th round pick for him. Like, come on, bro.
No, that's ridiculous.
Crazy.
And then certain people talking about you want a 1st or really born a 5th for Debo, and one of them players actually playing right here and want to play. You gonna trade him for pennies, but the one that's at home chilling with his family, I'm gonna get a 1st for somebody that got a mental case. You not.
If we let either one of them 2 go, man, we can't let them go without getting something.
Something.
Yeah, something real big.
We would be dumb, bro.
Trying to create more holes, trying to fix more holes. That ain't how it works.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You getting dirty.
We can't have too much more of a talent drop off, man.
But I can't say that AJ Terrell did his thing last year though. He did his thing, bro.
And Oliver.
Yeah, he did.
That's just tells you that don't rely on one dang season. Tell you about a player. It's more than that.
Hey, the number one person I'm trying to get out of here in Atlanta is Fabian Moreau. I want him gone.
Oh, I don't want him here. He gone.
Is he gone? Is he gone?
Yeah, he's already a free agent.
Man,
that's why I think they brought
every
in
time somebody caught the ball, you see his face, bro.
Straight up.
You be like, who caught it? It'd be Fabian. You be like, man. Like who? I didn't even know who he was until.
Hey, y'all know who he remind me of? He remind me of Robert Alford. That's who he remind me of. Like,
speaking of a certain Alford, we got DeAndre Alford from Canada, like we mentioned before. If you guys have seen his tape, I've watched like 1 or 2 minutes of it. Already fell in love with him. I think that he could really compete for that starting position opposite of AJ Terrell if he really works on it. He was an all-star in Canada.
All-star, and they won the championship.
Yeah,
straight up. Yeah. Wow, Atlanta family looking scary now, bro.
So that's why I'm kind of ignoring the mock drafts that show cornerback because that'll be a lot of draft capital you already put in there. You drafted 2. I don't think you're gonna draft one at 8.
Yeah, we're already incredibly young at that position as it is. So
and you could just bring back Oliver, have him play nickel, and then see what you can do on the outside.
Oliver should have been playing nickel from the beginning, man.
But you know who we had as the head coach, who for some reason has a hot new head coach name, as if this last year didn't happen.
He said whatever that dude named Offer, he said he looked beautiful. Hey, look, if he help us out. Hey, he can be a AJ Terrell tag team partner, straight up, man. If he good like that.
I just thought it was funny that he was asking the team to draft him 3 years ago. He said, "Yo, y'all need a corner." What's up?
Well, hey, he got his wish, and we got it the way that we wanted it too, which was as cheap as possible for how good he is.
And y'all don't mind me if I'm being quiet. I still get that cloudy fatigue feeling, and I'm getting it now, actually. And it makes you feel like you took a sleeping pill.
I think your camera cut off too.
My camera cut off too. It shouldn't have. I'll see me.
You need to start drinking some juice, man. Get some of that young juice and them herbs in you, man.
No, I do fruit juice. I'm telling you, I do it all. I eat fruit. vegetables. I'm doing everything I'm supposed to damn do.
What's up with this Pedialyte?
I mean, my skin is beautiful. You know, the skin is beautiful, but goddamn, I'm still falling asleep. So I think I'm gonna need a second opinion on COVID test because I'm
gonna Mike say put the Pedialyte in some orange juice. It's still gonna be nasty, but that's what he said.
So no, I drink fruit juice, fruit smoothies. Like we got a big old thing of juice.
Yeah,
natural, no sugars.
Man, I do. The number one thing though, I'm trying to see Grady get him a break because he been working hard for it. Like
man, he deserve it.
I'm so tired of him having to be Superman, and then people, we're gonna have to get rid of Jared.
Yeah. See what we did with Julio Jones.
Like get rid of best players. Come on now, what sense does that make?
None.
Yeah. No, I like Marlon Davidson. I like him. Marlon Davidson. I like him.
His mindset. I don't like his.
I like him especially against Brady. Bro. Specifically Brady.
He frustrates me, bro.
I don't like.
I like him, but he frustrates me, bro, because he's supposed to be the one next to Grady, man, and we not really getting that out of him, bro.
And
he's actually backing up Grady on the depth chart.
The biggest
because of how we have him lined up.
You don't got the guy in the middle to free him up to even do his thing. Just like with Grady. So if you get that big guy in the middle, you get more one-on-ones for Marlon. Marlon will kill you in a one-on-one, but he not gonna get that.
Grady supposed to be getting to the quarterback quicker than how he is now. He supposed to been got to the quarterback.
Grady was going off in that Super Bowl. He was going off like and like all of a sudden now, bro. Like, man. I'm just saying, man, these coaches got to put them in position to win, bro.
I seen
like
that.
I'm glad you say that. I'm glad you say that. Prove it, because this is something I've always preached. You know, everybody say we the Matt Ryan lovers and all that, whatever. What I feel like Arthur Smith, at least what he's doing, he's getting these players back into the positions they're comfortable with, so they can thrive. And he's trying to make sure these players are versatile at the same time, so you can put him anywhere, and he know exactly what to do instead of Matt Ryan trying to tell you where to plant your feet.
That's a lot of stuff that wasn't talked about. Matt Ryan literally had to coach at the same time as do what he's
doing.
Thank you. Exactly. If you watch the game for what it is instead of being in your fucking feelings, I think Noah kind of fell off. That's what it is.
Which I blame Dan Quinn and Raheem Morris for that, because you had Matt Hennessy, who you knew was the future, sitting for no reason to watch James Carpenter's sorry ass play.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Bruh.
He should have been playing next
I
to
didn't
Alex
want nothing from the Giants, bro. I didn't want nothing from the Giants. I'm like, why are we even signing these dudes?
Yeah.
I put it on Twitter before that he think he can get a good 2-for-1 deal. Oh man, instead of signing a good guy, I can get 2 trash guys for the price of 1. Stop doing that.
Trash.
He's been doing that for his whole career.
Hey, I got a question. Hey, would y'all want Vic Beasley to come back? Y'all want Vic Beasley to come back?
No, and I like Vic Beasley, but no.
Well, you know what? I'm neutral to the situation because I felt like if he was with Arthur Smith, it would have been a different situation for him. Now, of course, give and take what his career was and all that. Blah, 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 blah. I felt that he had potential. It was just the coaching staff. Sometimes it's about, because like look at Cordell Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
He came over here to a better situation and it's working for him. So it's like give him Arthur Smith and maybe bring him in on like a prove it deal. But I mean, maybe his time
not for you prove it, but
but some of these players maybe give them a second opportunity, because right now we don't have much.
I think he's a lost cause now because of what we did. Honestly, now because he
should have been in a 3-4.
He should have been in a 3-4 the whole time. That's what we were doing to him. Then when he actually got to a 3-4, he couldn't do nothing in Tennessee. So I just think that's and we don't even know if he wants to play football now. They already said that he just.
I think he's going into the ministry or something.
He gave us them 14 sacks, bro, and like the expectation for him to hit that, year after year, that's hard, man. TJ Watt just got 21 sacks. You think he gonna do that next year? No, he's not gonna do that.
What people didn't understand is that he wasn't the guy. He was the cleanup guy. But people don't respect the guys that actually finish. They trying to respect the superstar, but not everybody gonna be there.
Yeah,
If
because
Vic Beasley the guy to
doing a lot of
fix
the
it
dirty
up,
work.
I'd rather have Vic
question.
Beasley over
we
Steven
know dang
Meeks.
sure
any
Dante
day of the
Fowler is
week.
gonna get one sack every 17 games.
Yeah.
So like we
Yeah.
gotta do something.
Hey, how
Fowler
y'all
was
feel about Mike
disappointing, bro.
Davis, man? How y'all feel about Mike Davis?
Mike Davis out the
Man,
door.
I roll with Mike Davis to the end, bro. But he didn't do
What?
it, bro.
I
He didn't do it,
I
bro.
respect
I
What?
did.
I
roll
don't
with
know
him to
about
the
that
end,
one.
bro.
I mean,
But he
I
didn't
liked
do
it.
bro.
I like it, but I don't know. We can probably get a little bit something better in that position. I'm just saying.
What happened to Mike Davis was Cordero Patterson.
Straight up on everything.
Not even that.
That's what happened, bro.
Mike Davis was too damn slow because Cordero wasn't doing nothing different. Mike Davis was just slow, and his best attribute was pass protection. That's the only reason he was out there because he couldn't run the walk for shit.
Man, I kind of feel like that's the O line too, man, because we wasn't pulling, bro.
Yeah.
We like, bro, there was, if y'all remember, bro, there was one cold play where Mike Davis almost got hit in the back, but he spent off. That's because Matt Hennessy let dude go right by him. We can't even get the playoff. You know what I mean? He gets it back to the line of scrimmage. But like, that was amazing, bro. He like spent the dude off him.
I think it's a combination of both because when Cordero was getting the majority of the snaps, he did make the offensive line look better. And especially when you was running behind Jalen Mayfield. I know everybody likes to kick Jalen Mayfield in the butt, but he's a phenomenal run blocker. He just got to get pass blocking straight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I brought this.
Noah, you froze. I hear you, but you froze.
Again?
Yeah. There you go. Okay.
Okay, well, I'm just going to bring this up again because as much as you can try to ride or die with Davis as your running back, at what price? You know, because he's going to be asking for another like $3 million.
He's gone.
With how replaceable that the running back position
gone.
can be, you know, with him on top of that, he's like 29, 30. He's not the long-term answer either.
Yeah.
You can't have 2 30-year-old running backs.
What type? Hey, if we get a running back in the draft, what type of running back y'all want?
I want somebody 6'1".
So I got some names for you.
Okay. You got names. Let's go.
So depending on what you want, right? So let me bring this up. Let me ask this question before I begin. Do you guys want another guy to replace the production of Cordero Patterson?
I want somebody to eventually eclipse his production.
Not like replace. I want it to be where it's a yin and a yang type of situation.
Okay, so here's the guy to look out for then. Because this guy has played in running back the previous 2 seasons. Then they switched him over to become a wide receiver. So he has the potential to play both positions if need be. So I like that about him. He's got really good hands. You know, decent for a running back when it comes to this guy. Name is Calvin Turner from Hawaii.
Okay, I was going to get it wrong anyway. I was going to guess.
I've been paying attention to him. I like his potential to what he can offer to the table. Now, his pass protection and all that kind of stuff leaves a lot to be desired, but we're not really getting him for that. Just like we're not getting Cordero Patterson to be the pass protector, you know? So I don't really want to judge him for what he can't do, but focus on what he could do for us if we were to bring him in. So I like that. If you want a workhorse back, I got another guy for you. Because this guy has spent a lot of time in the zone run scheme, which is what we do, you know. He likes to wear down a defense as the game progresses, which is nice. He's a one-cut runner. But there's the only knock on him is similar to what Calvin Turner is that he is in another kind of conference where it's like the competition level is a bit questionable. Tyler Allgeier from BYU. He's a workhorse back. He's around 5'11", 225.
Okay.
Calvin Turner is around like the 6 foot range. I wanted to have a type, right? So if you checked on the article, you'll see that I put a list of.
Let me go get the article actually.
Well, it's not really complete.
Oh.
We haven't made it. We're kind of in the process of it.
If we stayed around a certain weight range, what do you think we could do? Like if I want the minimum to be 225.
Okay, yeah. So if you take out 225, I'm pretty sure you're going to cut out Calvin Turner because he's not going to play at that weight. That still leaves Allgaier in. I don't know what that would do for other guys too.
I'm thinking they
Because
want
like if you want like a James Cook,
guy.
you're not going to have him.
Guy, yeah.
And I thought the same thing too. So it's like, hey, if you're under 5'10", 5'9", like basically if you're smaller than me, I don't want you as a running back, all right? And I'm 5'11", 240. All right. If you
I'll put you out there. Shit.
I don't got that burst, man.
Shit, I get out there.
I got Todd Gurley's knees. All right, I'm not gonna be up there.
5'9" and something pounds. I get out there.
What you guys don't see underneath it is basically if you want to know what happened to the Georgia Dome, my stomach could be an answer.
Oh.
So that,
hey, you never know what's going on there behind that bus. I'm just saying. But hey, so I did the same parameters. When it came to the weight and when it came to the height, I didn't want any guy that was underneath 200 pounds at least. That was kind of my cutoff time. I don't care how great of a guy that you were. If you were someone like Jerry and Early or someone like that. Damian Pierce from Florida. You could be like the best running back in the draft class, but if you were under this kind of measurement, I didn't want you. So I'm not even going to try to bother to scout you. So you're not going to find those listed names.
Did you scout Devontae Price from FIU?
I have checked him out as well. He's not one of my favorite guys yet, but I'll get around to him a little bit more when I can. This is why we have until March in order to get this thing done.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to. I know he was like 6'2", I think. So I was looking for like whoever can be that. Like I know we're not going to ever find Derrick Henry, but we gotta get some big, strong kind of at least shifty dude to me. Because I think you got Quadri Olsen. I think they do like Quadri, but it's like I think they're also looking for some more upside too. With I love Quadri. I think that's kind of the mold I think they should be going for, but just a little bit bigger.
Yeah, I mean he's done a lot of good when he come in the stints in the games. So it's like, why are you not having him on the field more often? He does more production on like a burst basis than anyone else that we have, including Patterson. So it's like he's another guy that's like, hey, he'll find the hole, he'll run right through it. He's not gonna have these problems where he's gonna overthink it and have too many decisions to try to think about. But at the same time, I also want a guy that can, break one or two more tackles than normal. So I'm also kind of looking into that, which is why Tyler Allgaier, back again to the guy with BYU. I think he's like 6th in the nation when it comes to yards after contact. And I think he's like tied for he's in the top 15, at least, let's just say, for broken tackles. So another thing that I want to look at. So
do you think we should focus on like certain schools that they visited multiple times, such as Michigan?
Depends on the position.
I got a question. Have we ever drafted anybody from Georgia Bulldogs?
Yep, Akeem Dent. What you want to know about the legend? Akeem Dent.
DJ Shockley, right?
What? That's it?
Yeah. What you mean?
Well,
no, that's probably
off the top
of my head.
I'm getting chills, y'all.
I'm already not old enough to know about some more of them, but I know about Akeem Dent and DJ Shockley.
Yeah. But yeah, Akeem Dent went here. It was more of a special teamer, really. I think he went to Houston after us. He may have had like a brief stint in New Orleans. So.
Oh, he sucked.
Yeah, definitely. Tank Bigsby, he's not going to declare for this year.
That's a disgusting name. I want him now.
His
name what? Say it again.
Tank Bigsby.
Jesus Christ.
I know he sound like he one of them trailer, them country boys.
What do you call you? Tank.
I don't even know if that's like a nickname. I think that's just like, hey, congratulations, mother. Your first name is Tank.
His name better be Tank Harris or some crap, man. They can't just call him Tank.
Yeah.
Write that down. See, I kind of hated that. What's his name? Took his name out of the draft. Zach.
Carbonet from UCLA.
Yeah, because he was one of the typical guys I wanted.
Yeah, I saw the news. I was like, dang it, I'm gonna have to cross him off my list.
All the big guys wanted to go back to school.
Oh, okay. Here it is. Nathan. He provided. It's Cartavius. So, Tank.
His name is Carr, and they call him Tank. Cool. Okay.
Cartavius or something.
We're going with
it. What was that other running back's name? He played in Tampa Bay. It was Carnell Williams, I want to say, but he went by Cadillac.
Mm-hmm. I remember Cadillac.
Uh-huh.
That's how you know they black.
One thing I'm gonna say, I'm sorry, I'm crunching. I got the munchies. Just letting y'all know. But so people that come here with them big tanks and big roller coaster and big old gorilla of a mammoth, and they suck when they get into the league. Right. Like, you too big to be sorry.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Come here, I'm the tank. I'm knocking those people down, bulldozers. I'm like,
hey, y'all remember we dropped somebody that was a tank too. We finally let him go. We got him like in 2018. I forgot his name, and he gone though. But I'm just like, we didn't. He was injured the whole time. We finally let him go. I'm just
from the running back position, right?
Nah, he played defense. He played defense, and he was like he just like Marlon Davidson, but just smaller.
Oh, Dejan Sanat?
Yes,
man. I loved Sanat when he was out there because he could throw people, but he just was never out there.
Never.
I seen him punk Mike Pouncey in our episode since when we went against the Steelers that day.
That's what we don't need. We not trying to waste no more picks, bro. We ain't trying to do that.
Well, I don't even think Dan Quinn liked him in the first place. I ain't know why he here. He didn't even hit none of the metrics. He had a whole thing called the Spark. Can
I put a service, public service announcement out? Anybody want to get me these sugar cookies for my munchie affair? Please.
You gonna show us the brand? You just gonna tell us the cookie?
I mean, but look, they'll never have a brand. They be like Christmas.
Oh, I know what them at.
Mm-hmm. Donate to the Maggie T's
what kind of hair supplies you gonna put in that when you get done?
You see this hair? It's beautiful. You
gonna put dimples and all type of stuff in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, talking about tact. Absolutely. Talk, all talk, and no walk.
Ooh, Chris Pert brought up a name, Sean Oakman. Ah, man, that was terrible what happened to him.
Sean Oakman is actually doing very well in Canada.
Well, that's good.
That. I don't want nobody that got cases against him on the team, though. I'll let you know that now. Yeah. That's why Barcavius Mingo got cut immediately when he was away. They're like, nope, we're not doing this.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I don't understand what people be talking about. We need to trade for Deshaun Watson, who has 30,000 women saying he's a freak. No. Just got away from Vic. Let's stop doing that.
Yeah.
My bad. I'd be too passionate sometimes. Let me calm down.
Yeah, no problem.
What happened?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back in.
There you go. All right.
But yeah, I'm gonna jump off. I'm getting fatigued. So
okay.
I mean, I've been fatigued, but it's like I told everybody, it's like a sleeping pill. Yeah. It really shuts you down, and it's like, so I'm probably gonna have to go get a second opinion about my COVID test. Maybe I took it too early, because before I went through the motions of the sweats and stuff like that, I took it before then. It came back negative, but here I am, week 3, and I'm still like, I took 2 naps a day. Here I go for to be crashing again. So I appreciate everybody that's just been watching the journey of AFN and innovating into something bigger other than just Falcons talk. You're going to get some wrestling. You're going to get some Hawks. You're going to get some Braves if they come out of lockout.
Yeah.
You're going to get a lot more of this from Noah. So he's going to have his, his little board up so y'all can learn some things, sometime. Come and sit with Noah, people. Y'all really need to mark this time on your schedule. The people that are night owls, it's 5 hours away in the UK. So, they're just rising up a little bit. So that's why my morning show will be at 9 a.m. because that's UK time. That's the afternoon.
I mean, really, whenever you can try to fit this in, I mean, I'm not asking for it like to be live or right away. I know I've been trying to get more audience participation, as you can see, but there's more to be provided, so
Well,
take that for what you will. If you guys are watching back on this one, you guys are also just as much appreciated as the people tuning in right now. All right, don't think any differently. All right.
And Maggie gonna get her munchie set. Give Maggie T her cookies. All right.
Let's make that.
That's the campaign. Hashtag Maggie T cookies and milk.
And milk.
Y'all about to get the funny, Maggie. I'm letting y'all know. I am a goofball all the way. If you meet my daughters, they are ball of laughs, and I be like, Lord, it's 3 of them. Lord, I got 3 daughters and a son, and sometimes he be over here. I'm like, something wrong with y'all. All of y'all crazy because y'all mama.
Yeah.
Y'all mama. They theater and fame. I'm gonna live forever. They all there. I'm like, Lord, that's me too. I'm a little bipolar up in here, just a little bit. So y'all finna get all of that. Not to take over your show. No, I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, it just looking like dog, man. You go do that on this show.
I got extra rude today. I'm sorry.
Hey, that's when hey, look, that's when the Rock come up on and do that people's eyebrow. Like, I know that didn't just happen. Like, what? Yeah. Hey, y'all know what's crazy though? No, you try to do the people's eyebrow. That's crazy. Cause my birthday, me, the Rock birthday, my birthday, Matt Ryan birthday, we all the Taurus, like all 3 of us. I'm just like, yeah. I used to do wrestling. I used to do that thing, boy. It ain't what you think though. It ain't like TV.
Man did that. Y'all look like a pie over here.
Hey, that's the people's eyebrow, man. The people's eyebrow.
That's the Maggie. What the hell, brow? Look, y'all. I'm just happy to be able to smile again and laugh and not cry and I've just been. People been feeling my spirit, my energy. You got to protect your peace. I know this ain't this type of show for it, but Noah, I'm gonna be up at night now. I'm a night owl. I ain't got no job, so.
Oh, please, I mean, my body no longer believes in sleep. All right, I got 4 hours of sleep last night.
So y'all got a problem. I ain't finna get no. I got to get more than that.
Yeah. Well,
dude, I went to sleep at 3 a.m. and woke up at 7. Like, that's not healthy.
Nah, it's not.
You need to get back in your bed.
You gotta. That's why I told Miss Maggie T, you gotta balance everything. You gotta balance your goals and your personal life.
I'm taking plenty of naps throughout the day now since I ain't got to catch no, do no clock. Now I'm gonna explain this one more time since we got a little audience, and I'm gonna say it. This is my last time speaking on it. I might say it on my launch of my new show, my morning show that's gonna be coming in February. But we appreciate everybody that's donated to the channel. They hard on money through the super chats. All of that is embedded to make AFN better. As you say, we're innovating, but the cash apps, that's not our money. The cash apps, that's quick in our pocket. We can distribute that out according to who. Like, honestly, people, somebody was trying to challenge me. We need receipts of what you're doing. For one thing, some people that do good deeds don't need recognition. Do you understand that? You get what I'm saying? So it's like, don't try. I felt like it was a personal thing because maybe somebody is upset. So they was like, let's go stir up the pot over there. Let's talk about. That's what I felt it was, because I saw his previous message back in a couple of days ago where he was like vouching for another teammate that's not no longer on this channel. Now we are fine now. That teammate, we've squashed all beef. We're over that. Like, we're in 2022. We're tired of fighting other channels. We're tired of being this he said and she said, and this team over here and that team over there. Why the fuck can't we come together? That's why Fearless Sports, that's why Fearless Sports is a part of us, because we don't believe in being separate. We're together. Yeah,
we all got gifts. We all do. Even the people that support AFN, we all got gifts.
Absolutely.
But I'm gonna bid y'all adieu because I am extremely fatigued, and I'm probably gonna go ahead and set up myself another COVID test because I think I took it too soon. People, as you can see, it's like it makes you feel like you got a nightcap, a night quill. So I will Electrolyte it up, people. Thank you. That's why I've given myself a whole month to get this lunch. So you might get some sporadic hit and misses. Even they was questioning that. What is she doing? She doing a little
I got
too
something
much.
to say after you finish.
But I'm just saying, like, y'all people, get out of people's business and pockets. Worry about your own. That's my motto.
Got something to say. But I did what I gotta say to everybody in the chat room. Like, first of all, I appreciate Miss Maggie T. Appreciate Noah. Appreciate everybody at AFN. These people are dealing with stuff behind the scene that you don't know. So it's time for everybody to uplift each other. If you got any negativity, don't bring it in here, bro. Cause it changes them and it changes the fans too. So I'm just be honest with you. I'm just be straight up with you like The Rock. I'm be straight up with you. So it's time, bro. We need some uplifting. So and hey, look, and everybody that y'all be seeing on here got gifts. So just because you think that everything is peaches and cream, they go through stuff too. They not characters and they not people on television. So that's all I gotta say. Motivated out.
They're right. We can take my deuces and take me a nap and smoke my and good night, people. Good night. I'll see y'all in the morning. Good morning.
All right. Take care.
Save me a cookie. Try to slide that in there.
She smack your hand out of the cookie jar real fast. Oh, Clay Melton, I might be heading down that road, man.
The response, Chad, we know we need to double dip or do something. Like right now I'm projecting them to just have 2. I do think they'll get rid of Fowler with these void years. I think it's going to be John Kaminsky if they choose to keep him at an edge, probably because we need a power guy out there, and Ogundeji, and that's not enough. So I know they're going to grab. I can't project the free agency because I kind of hate how the class is right now. So I do think they're going to focus on pass rush in the draft.
Yeah, I want to try to see if I can get like a double rotation, getting 2 at least.
Yeah, I'm liking.
But it's like the problem with that is like you got 2 people to try to solve one problem, and then you might be missing out on some people that can solve 2 problems with just getting one guy. You know, there's that kind of dilemma that you have to look out for too.
So that's why I'm trying to get in on the right guy. You get several swings, but you get one at a time. So that's why I'm like with David Ojabo, I'm like, I'm kind of souring on him because it's kind of a 1-year wonder. But he has all the traits. But do I pass on a more proven player because I like his traits? I don't think I should do that. So that's why I'm trying to do my research.
Right. And because with Ojabo, he's pretty similar to what Odafe Owe was for the Ravens. You know, so raw he can give his teammate salmonella, but his upside is incredible because of his just frame.
The best part is though that was what, like the end of the first or something. I forgot where he was a pick, but
yeah, he was like 26th pick or something.
When you're at 8, it's like, do I go for the high upside? Do I go for who I can produce now? So that's my. Because if it's not George Karlaftis,
yeah.
Karlaftis, it's like, who do you go? You know, some people are saying, well, it's too high for Jordan Davis. At this point, I don't care. I just want a big behemoth in the middle anyway. But just everywhere to which they can go. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm not sure if they're going to trade down because they do have all these, like the 2 seconds. You don't need to have a full team of rookies. You know, still need some money freed up to have some proven veterans there. So
that's true. And it's not like the trades are going to be a guaranteed like draft pick either. We could get like another veteran from the other team too.
Yeah. So that's why, I think they're going to bring back a lot of people, but not everybody. Like I think they're going to bring back maybe Cordero, Ford, try to keep it Ford, but just do a little smaller move.
I want to keep Younghoe Koo. I'll tell you that much.
I don't see why they can't keep him. I don't see why they can't keep CP. CP been begging. I think he'll take some snacks and a bed right now. So
he's gonna. All he needs to do is just reach into Maggie's cookie jar, and that'll satisfy him too, man. Like
people are commenting about them cookies now. We're gonna have to get the brand. I know it's from Walmart, maybe Family Dollar. I don't know.
But yeah, like it's always good to get the guys that want to be here. That's got to be another part of the identity, you know. Not just like filling your roles on your team or your respective coaches, but it's like you got to enjoy trying to prop up the future of the Falcons too, because that's what we're trying to do.
And that's what I appreciate for Cordell Patterson's mindset, because this is the first stop he's been in where they actually said, hey, man, we believe in you. Go out there and give us all. Everybody else saw him say, oh, give us a little free carry and try to run a kickback. No, they saw him as an actual contributor, and so that's why he wants to stay. That's why he made that quote. If you don't want to play for Arthur Smith, he's stupid. And there's people saying, was that shots at other players? It could be, but at this point, he's just telling you that's how confident he is in Arthur Smith.
Yeah. So we definitely got the guy, I don't want all these other people trying to say like, oh man, Arthur Smith needs to be fired and all that kind of stuff. It does exist, by the way. There are those people that are like, hey, you won 7 games, and it's like, okay, if you were to grade this season, and you wanted to try to give it like a D or an F or something like that, like what the heck does an A+ grade look like for you? It can't be 17-0.
It's ridiculous because you're getting a team with a lack of talent. And then you're saying, hey, we're going to bring a new GM, a new coach, try to fix it. And then everybody wants instant success. It's not going to work like that. That's why, like, when Houston hired their coach and then literally fired him after 1 year, like, what the hell would y'all expect him to do? He's coming in there to sex allegations. He's coming into a defense that ain't been worth nothing since J.J. Watt got traded. But you get to be the fall guy. Arthur Smith, for what he did with the team he had, was one of the best coaching hires on the carousel that year.
Yeah, like that. David Culley being fired frustrated me kind of more so than Brian Flores just getting fired out of nowhere.
That was dumb too, but I know he's gonna get a job. Like he's
yeah.
Get a job.
I don't have a really problem with because he can get another head coaching job elsewhere. It's just a matter of like where he could fit, Then there's other potential candidates too. Like there's been reports of for what it's worth, Jim Harbaugh coming back from Michigan. There were saying reports about him trying to sneak up on the Raiders.
I'm all for more diversity as well. So that's why I like that. I think what's his name, Pep Hamilton or somebody is getting a second interview with the Panthers. Even though it's the Panthers, I'm like, yeah, we need more diversity. So I'm for it.
Someone's got to hire Bieniemy at some point too, because
I haven't heard of an interview for that dude. I think he kind of. I want to say he lost his chance because he was the top guy on 2 back-to-back head coaching carousels.
Exactly.
And I really feel like he didn't take the job. I think Andy Reid blocked him from someone. What was it? What job was it? Was it Eagles? I think he blocked him from there. Probably did. Probably told him not to.
It wouldn't surprise me one bit if it was Philly, given Andy Reid.
Because I was like, he's got to be. He has to be hired somewhere. How are you gonna be the number 1 guy and just no one offers you a contract? It don't make sense to me.
I mean, that's got to be a testament to some of the other long-standing, well-oiled teams, Like, they have coaches that have been there for a long period of time, and they don't get, like, oh, hey, just prop you up the next year, and then you're already gone, then we can't give you a chance to really grow with the team, right? Guys like Josh McDaniels, like, they thrive being in New England, and you try to bring him anywhere else, they don't want to do anything.
Nah, I done heard some stories about Josh McDaniels make me not want to give him a job nowhere.
Well, maybe he's not the best example, but you get what I'm trying to say. It's like there's coordinators that want to stay being coordinators for that team because that's where they thrive at,
They'll get exposed. So that's why I'm saying I'm not hoping for it, but I feel like if Dan Quinn takes another head coaching job and that defense isn't already ready made, they're going to suck. He's going to go back to that scared 4-3 cover 3 crap. Even though he made it a 3-4 and he was more aggressive in the season, it didn't matter. He had a bunch of talent. Now, if he goes somewhere to, like, what team? Chicago, Dolphins, or whatever, he's going to have to elevate them. Even though they got some pieces over there, he's going to have to elevate them. And do I know if he can do that? No. He showed the Falcons that he can't – that him and TD couldn't draft well or develop. So I don't expect him to do well, especially as the head man.
You can get all those stats and then still can't stop the run or still can't do some of the other crucial elements of winning the later games in the season.
No, you do time clock management. You got to find your OC. So where your OC finna be? It can't be Kyle. He got a job. Mike McDaniel look like he about to get a job. So who's gonna run this West Coast offense for you?
Mm-hmm. All right, then. We got about 5 minutes until we normally close this thing out. So, you got any other closing thoughts?
Closing thoughts would be, Calvin, really, it is what it is. I'm not gonna drag your name through the mud. If you're here, you're here. If you're not, you're not. I'm an Atlanta Falcons fan at the end of the day, so I'm going to ride with whoever is here and showing up and giving their heart out. So I'm behind guys like Cordero Patterson and Debo Jones, since everybody want to hate on him. You know, Matt Ryan, who has shown you 14 straight years that he will get knocked on his ass and come back and try to win this game. So I think Matt Ryan, of all people, deserves all the respect, all the roses in the world, because he took this franchise from a laughing stock in 2007 to a playoff contender in 2008. So I got to say, my hat's off to him. Whenever he feels like hanging it up, that'll be the saddest day for me in the Falcons history.
But hey, he's earned it. He's got every right to do whatever he wants to do at this point, man. So if he wants to hang up his cleats on a high note or on a low note, go the unfortunate, like Tony Gonzalez are out. Whatever he decides to do, I want him to try to, end his career on at least one Super Bowl ring, And we're trying to get that to happen as quick as possible.
I just don't understand when people say, well, that's not fair to him. He said himself he doesn't want to leave. It don't matter if it's fair. This is what he wants. So if he's playing at a high enough level, then let him do it. Then you can build a team around him, have some young guy come in to already made team, so it's not that hard. We don't want David. Well, it's not David. Whatever his brother's name, Carr, to come in and just get flustered by that team, and then start sucking.
So but like we just mentioned before, it's like you have to appreciate the people that want to be here in this organization, because you're going to have a hard time developing that from outside teams. You might get your feelings of homesickness from other players. We've seen a few examples of that on our team.
Chad, I don't even think I was on this earth when Bartowski was playing, so I just want to let y'all know. I can't be sad about it. But, all right, I've watched
his last season was what, 1985?
With that secret base docuseries on the Falcons, and it's been a long ass road for Atlanta. I'm sorry.
Especially at that quarterback position.
I'm here from 2004 on. That's when I started really paying attention. So I know how crazy it's been. You go from Brett Favre being a total jackrabbit, then you bring in Michael Vick, then Michael Vick does what he does. You go from Byron Leftwich to Joey Harrington, all these throwaway guys, and then you get the franchise savior and Matt Ryan. We actually been kind of lucky when it comes to quarterbacks, but it ain't that easy, especially when he hangs it up. Y'all going to want him to come back so soon, because y'all going to realize that it's like it's like a lottery, man. You can't just get what you want all the time. You don't get some busts. And I hope it ain't that quarterback position. I hope Matt Ryan teaches whoever the next guy is in the near future, because you can't just bring some guy in. Like, I know some people be like, well, can't Matt Ryan just get cut? We're going to get rid of Matt Ryan. It's usually the people who don't watch football games that say that. So that's what I've noticed.
Yeah. Waiting those opinions, they don't really want the best intentions of the team moving forward. Especially because, like, when you take a look at, like, any possible angle, it doesn't benefit the team whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
So
it doesn't. Right. Like, if you give it from a cap angle, if you give it from a team angle, people don't want to hear it. Like from the
leadership
money,
angle, franchise angle, community angle.
You need money. Okay, cool. Let's create it like this. Let's extend him. Let's do this. No, Matt Ryan, he needs to go. Like, that's not going to help the team. What is this next player running away from the offensive line that's terrible going to do for the team?
Mm-hmm. And then we've seen the examples of other teams that they've tried to have their succession story in place. Think of like a Eli Manning, Daniel Jones situation.
Even with the Chiefs, the only reason they
Alex Smith and Patrick Mahomes.
With Patrick,
they had the team built for him already,
Right. So why can't the Falcons do that? Why not? Why? If they like a quarterback, cool. But don't try to pigeonhole them, saying, "Oh well, we ain't gonna never be this high again." You're just saying that the team can be better, without saying it. We're never gonna be this high again. Means this team is going to be better. I'm scared.
Crazy when you think about it that way. All right, guys. Well, that has been it for me. I need to have my freaking dinner, so excuse me for being hungry for this past couple of hours, but I had to rush in order to get this information brought out to you guys. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Great to have every single person on here that wanted to hop on. So prove it, Mr. Motivator, your boy, Cookie by Nature, who's still with us now, and anyone else that might have wanted to come on here but couldn't due to other circumstances. I feel you. All right, don't worry about it. All right, we can try to have it in next time. Knowing Maggie's schedule, she can probably have it whenever you want. All right, so just keep that in mind. We're gonna try to have some more audience participation focus if a certain scenario comes where the guy that we wanted to have as a co-host moving forward doesn't show up. We have everyone here that's joining in as well, so I'm not really that much of at a loss here. So with that being said, see ya and good night. Goodbye.